Assalamu alaikum class. We have dealt with chapter number 6.3, application of linear equations in the real world context in our book. All the questions related to that, we've done them. And now we're going to go towards the workbook, the questions that were left in the workbook. Once we deal with these questions, we'll have totally dealt with chapter number 6, and then we'll move on to our next chapter. So hopefully in today's lecture we're going to deal with all the questions that are left in the workbook of chapter number 6. Okay, starting from question number 11, then 12, then 13. Make sure, first of all, make sure that you're in a solitary space, you have silence, and you can full focus on your maths. Then again, make sure you're only doing maths while you're doing these questions, or not eating anything, not playing, not moving around, or talking to someone else, because these questions are hard and they will require your full focus and attention. Question number 11. First, read the question, okay? We've done these steps before, but I will go through them again. In our first class, in the fourth quarter, first class, I said, whenever solving the word problems, you need to follow a few steps. You need to write the given, you need to write the required, you need to write the solution, okay? And where do you get the given and required from? From the question, okay? So it's really, really, really important for you to fully focus and read the question properly, try to understand it to the best capacity, and as long as you understand what the given is, and as long as you can take the given out of the questions, you're basically able to solve the word problem questions. They won't be that difficult for you. Make sure you have your books in front of you, okay? And first, listen to me as I explain them. I'm doing question number 11. You do question number 11 with me, okay? No writing for now. First, let me explain it to you. Once you understand question number 11, then you pause the video and then you can write it down in your notebooks or workbooks, whatever that is, okay? Question number 11, it has three parts, part A, B, and C. In part A, it says that Rizwan is twice as old as Ali, and Hussein is 7 years younger than Rizwan. Okay. First, Rizwan's age is given in terms of Ali, okay? And then Hussein's age is given in terms of Rizwan's, okay? So that's why the most basic thing we have is Ali's age. So what are we going to do? When we're going to write our given, we're going to say, let Ali's age be X years old. Why are we not saying Rizwan's age be X years old? Because Rizwan is not the most basic one here. Ali is the most basic. And in terms of Ali's age, Rizwan's age is being explained. And then in terms of Rizwan's age, we have Hussein's age. So first, we will say that let Ali's age be X years old. Okay. Then Rizwan's age will be 2X because Rizwan is twice as old as Ali. So if Ali is X, then Rizwan is going to be 2X. Hussein is 2X minus 7. Why? Because Hussein is 7 years younger than Rizwan. Not Ali, it says Rizwan. 7 years younger than Rizwan. And what was Rizwan's age? It was 2X. So minus 7 years from 2X. Because 2X was the age of Rizwan. So that will be Hussein's age. Okay, then the question says that if the sum of their age is 38 years, find their respective ages. Now, where is the equation given in this question? Right in the last statement. Sum of their ages is. What did I say about is? Is means equal, okay? So is what? Sum of their ages is 38. That's what the question says. But we also know that sum of their ages is just adding up their individual ages. Age of Ali was X. Age of Rizwan was 2X. Age of Hussein was 2X minus 7. So X plus X, which was the age of Ali, plus age of Rizwan, which is 2X, plus age of Hussein, which is 2X minus 7. So when you add them all together, you get 38. Now, of course, we can simplify this, but we're going to do that in solution. Right now, I'm going to write required. What is required? Age of Ali is required, which is X. Age of Rizwan is required, which is 2X. Age of Hussein is required, which is 2X minus 7. All of them are required. Now, not only one thing is required, three things are required in this question. So if you leave this question after finding the value of X, you won't get full marks. This is not correct. You need to write You need to find the value of x. You also need to find 2x, and you also need to find 2x minus 7, which will be then complete. This question will be answered completely after that. Okay, solution. What do we know? We know the sum of their ages is 38, and I basically wrote it from the words into algebraic form. Okay, from inwards into algebraic form. You can simplify this further. You have x, you have 2x, and you have 2x. So x plus 2x plus 2x is going to be 5x and minus 7. Minus 7 is equal to 5x minus 7 is equal to 38. Now since we have a minus 7 here on this side of the equation, what are we going to do? We're going to add 7 on both sides of the equations. Plus 7 on this side will cancel out with this minus 7, and 38 plus 7 is going to give us 45. So 5x is equal to 45. 5x is equal to 45. Then dividing 5 on both sides of the equations, we will get the value of x, which is equal to 9. Okay, what was x? X was the age of Ali. So now we know the age of Ali, which is 9 years old. Then Rizwan was 2x. So 2 multiplied with 9 is going to give us 18. And Hussein's age is 2x minus 7. We know what is 2x. 2x is 18. So 18 minus 7 is going to give us 11. 11 years old. And first part of question number 11 can be solved like this. Okay, now question number 11, part B. Okay, it starts with saying that Kiran's father is 50 years old and Kiran is 24 years old now. It gives us their ages. So just like that, we wrote their ages in the given first, that Kiran's father is 50 years old and Kiran's age is 24 years old. We got this from the first sentence of question number 11, part B. Okay, then the question says that how many years. It basically gives us the required here, but in the required we also do get the equation. It says that how many years ago was Kiran's father 3 times as old as her. Okay, so whatever and the amount of years it's going to be, we're going to take them as x. So x is going to be the number of years ago Kiran's father was 3 times as old as Kiran. Okay, now focus on this part. It says Kiran's father is going to be was 3 times as old as Kiran. 3 times as old as Kiran, this gives us a relation. This is the age of father, which is 3 times of the age of Kiran back in time. Okay, we don't know how much years ago we're talking about. That's why we took the number of years as x. So whatever amount of years that I'm going to subtract from father, I'm also going to subtract that from the daughter, from Kiran. Okay, so 50 minus x is going to be equal to 3 multiplied with 24 minus x. 50 minus x is the age of father back in time, and 3 times of what? Which is equal to 3 times of what? Which is equal to 3 times of Kiran's age back in time. Okay, then we have required. How many years ago? Basically the whole statement here is the required. It says how many years ago Kiran's father was 3 times as old as her, but I just shortened it into a simple sentence here. Show what's the required. Required is basically x. The solution, we know now that the equation is given to us. Equation is 50 minus x is equal to 3 multiplied with 24 minus x. Okay, we're just going to first start with applying the distributive law. Apply the distributive law, and 3 multiplied with 24 will give us 72 minus 3x multiplied, okay, 3 multiplied with minus x will give us minus 3x. Now since we have a constant here, we have a variable, we have a constant here, we have a variable, what are we going to do? We're going to make sure that the variables are on one side of the equation and the constants are on the other side of the equations. That's what we did here. Proceeding just how you normally solve the linear equations, we proceeded with that. And once we get the value of x, we will know that how many years ago Kiran's father was 3 times as old as Kiran is. Okay, or Kiran was basically 11 years ago. What does this mean? That means 11 years from now, Kiran's father was how much? 3 times as old as Kiran. Let's confirm this, let's check this. Okay, so currently the father's age is 50, so when we subtract 11 from it we get 39, and Kiran's current age is 24, and when we subtract 11 from it, we get 13. We know that 39 is 3 times of 13, so obviously it's true that 11 years ago Kiran's father was 3 times as old as Kiran. Okay, now part C of question number 11. It says Farhan's brother is 3 times as old as him. In other words, Farhan's brother's age is given in terms of Farhan's age. So that's why we felt the need to take Farhan's age as x, and his brother's age will be 3 times of x, which means 3 times of Farhan's age. Then the question says, in 12 years time, we're just going to take that simple sentence, simple part of a sentence, and we're going to explain it. Okay, so in 12 years times, what will be Farhan's age? Farhan's age is going to be x plus 12, and his brother age, which was 3x, is going to be also 3x plus 12. Okay, so this is going to be their ages in 12 years of time. The question says in 12 years the sum of their ages will be equal to 10 times of Farhan's age. Okay, so if I know their ages in 12 years time, I know the age of Farhan after 12 years, I know the age of his brother after 12 years. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add them together. This is Farhan's age, this is his brother's age. They're going to be added together, and their result will be 10x. Why 10x? Because 10 times of Farhan's present age. Okay, the question says that. Then the required is Farhan's present age and the brother's age. Okay, the sum, the basic equation, this equation is given to us in the where do you go? Yeah, it's given in the last part of this part number C. In the last sentence, the sum of their ages will be equal to this equal to here shows equality, and that is a free giveaway, we could say. It just is a basic giveaway that this is going to be our equation in this question. Okay, you know the equation, you know the required. Now we're just going to solve it. First, again, our answer is mostly always hidden in the equations, so you're going to take the equation first and solve it further to find the value of x. Once we know the value of x, we have found the first part of our required. We have found the first part of our required, which is Farhan's present age. How are we going to find the value of x? First, add the x's together. We have x and we have 3x, which add them together will get 4x, and 12 plus 12 will make 24. 4x plus 24 is equal to 10x. Then further simplifying it, you will get the value of x. Once you find the value of x, all you need to do is to multiply it with 3 to find the brother's age as well. So Farhan's age is 4 years old, and his brother is 3 multiplied with x. Okay, you can see here his brother is 3 multiplied with x. His brother is 3 multiplied with x. What was x? X is 4, so 3 multiplied with x is 12 years old. We found his age and we found his brother's age as well. 3 is being multiplied with 4, so 3 multiplied with 4 is 12, so his brother is going to be 12 years old. That takes care of question number 11. Okay, question number 12. It says sum of two numbers is 120. If one of the numbers is 4 times the other, find the smaller number. We're going to do part A first. Question number 12 has 2 parts. We're going to do part A first. Okay, given says sum of two numbers. Let's say we have A and we have B. Sum of them is going to be 120. So A plus B is basically 120. Simple. The question says that one of the numbers is 4 times the other. B is equal to 4A. Okay, again, simple. We accept that. Whatever the question tells us. Okay. Required is smaller number. Now smaller number is A. Why? Because B is 4 times of A. So whatever A is, B is going to be 4 times more than that. So obviously in between these two numbers, A is going to be the smaller number. We have this equation given to us. Given to us. Okay, how do we know this equation? Sum means addition. Is means equal sign. Okay, sum, addition and equal sign. Basically it tells you the equation, linear equation. Now my purpose basically in these questions is to show you how to take information out from the questions, okay, so that you can solve them by yourself. Required is A. Okay, solution. We will put the values of B. B value is what? 4A. From the question we got this. B's value is 4A. And we're going to put this value in the equation that was given to us in the question. So for A plus B, instead of writing B, we will say 4A. Instead of writing B, we will say 4A. So A plus 4A is going to be 120. Now A plus 4 is going to be 5A. 5A is equal to 120. Divide 5 on both sides of the equation. You will get the value of A. A is equal to 120 divided by 5, 24. That means the smaller number is 24. It gives us the value of A. We don't need to calculate the value of B. It doesn't matter. End the question there. You don't need to go more, or you cannot be less than the required, okay? Make sure that your required is complete. That's what's important. Okay, now part B of question number 12. It says that a number when divided by 4 and subtracted from 12 gives the same result as when 1 by 6 is multiplied to that number. Okay, 1 by 6 is multiplied to that number. Now basically we don't know that number, so we're gonna say let that number be x. Then again, the only other thing given to us is the equation itself. How do I write this equation? Let me show you. A number when divided by 4. Okay, so since that number is x, we're going to say x divided by 4. Okay, and subtracted from 12. Okay, 12 is not being subtracted here. That number divided by 4 is being subtracted from 12. Okay, so that's why minus x by 4 from 12. Okay, so 12 minus x by 4 is equal to what? It gives the same result. This statement, it gives the same result as when, okay, this statement here, it tells us the equal sign. Okay, it shows the equality between them. Between what? Between this statement and the rest of this. What is it? 1 by 6 is multiplied to that number. 1 by 6 is being multiplied to which number? X. Okay, so 1 by 6 multiplied by x, and the result that we're going to get from this part and this part, they're both going to be the same, giving us an equation. Okay, required. What is required? The number x is required. Okay, how are we going to find the solution to this? We know the equation, okay, and you just need to simplify it now further. We have a constant term, we have a variable term, and we have a variable term. So we're going to make sure that the variable term goes to the right hand side so that variables can interact with one another, and the constant is left alone on one side of the equation. Okay, so 12, and okay, how are we going to do that? This is positive x by 4, so we're going to, sorry, this is negative x by 4, so we're going to add x by 4 on both sides of the equations to get rid of that negative x by 4 term. Okay, now 12 is left alone on the left hand side, and 1x divided by 6 is 1x divided by 6 plus x by 4. 1x divided by 6 basically is the same as saying x divided by 6. Okay, x divided by 6 plus x divided by 4. Now since the denominators are not the same, that means the fractions can't interact with one another, so we need to make the denominators same first. We make them common. Okay, first we find the LCM of 6 and 4, which is 12. Okay, and then you just simply proceed with the how you deal with fractions. 12 is equal to 2x plus 3, which is going to give us 5 divided by 12. Okay, 12 is equal to 5x divided by 12. Now we want to get rid of this denominator. What are we going to do? We're going to take it to the other side, or you can say multiply 12 on both sides of the equations to get rid of this 12. 12 is being multiplied and divided, they will cancel each other out, and 12 is being multiplied with 12. Okay, 144. This is basically the perfect square as well. 12 multiplied with 12, which gives us 144, which is equal to 5x. Now to get rid of this 5, we're going to divide it on both sides of the equations, and we will get the value of x. Now x is equal to this entire number as well. You can say x is equal to 144 divided by 5. You can leave it at that, or you can simplify it further. You can write it in mixed numbers and say that the number is 28 whole 4 by 5. Okay, This is it. That's the question number 12, part B. Now question number 13, basically. Question number 13 says, Mars has enough money to buy either 12 pears or 36 apples. What does that mean? That means the price of 12 pears and 36 apples is the same, okay? So he's either going to buy this or that. He has enough money to buy both of them, okay? This statement shows the equality between the price of 12 pears and 36 apples. Now that itself isn't an equation. That itself is not the equation, but that gives us a very important clue. Okay, first of all, the cost of 12 pears is equal to the cost of 36 apples. That's what the question tells us, okay? Now what else does the question says? It says that if he intends to buy an equal number of pears and apples, how many of each fruit can he buy with the money? Then look at them. Cost of 12 pears is equal to the cost of 36 apples. This is basically the entire information given to us. This first sentence is the only piece of information given to us in this question. And what does that tell us? That tells us all that we need to know, okay? The cost of 12 pears is equal to, first of all, it tells us that the cost of 12 pears is equal to the cost of 36 apples. Okay, one more thing it tells us. Look at 12 and look at 36. 36 is 3 times of 12. You know the 12 table? You can tell that, right? 36 is 3 times of 12. So what does that tell you? That means the cost of a pear is 3 times of an apple. Okay, so an apple costs less, that's why you can buy a lot of them. And pear is expensive, that's why you're buying less of them. And how much expensive it is? A pear costs 3 times more than that of an apple, okay? Let the cost of an apple be X. Why are we going to take the cost of an apple be an X? Because the cost of pear can be defined in terms of an apple, okay? So the cost of an apple is going to be X, then the cost of pear is going to be 3 times of X, okay? 3 times of X. The amount of money that Mars have is 36X. Why am I saying that the amount of money that Mars have is 36X? It is not given in the question, right? But question says Mars have enough money, okay? It says that he has got this much money with him to buy either 12 pears or 36 apples. Now you know that the total cost of apples is going to be the number of apples multiply the cost of each apple. The cost of one apple is X, so the cost of 36 apples is going to be 36X, and that is the amount of money that Mars have with him. I can also describe the amount of money that Mars have in terms of pears, okay? So the amount of pears that Mars can buy is 12 pears, correct? Mars can buy 12 pears, and each pear costs 3x. So 12 multiplied with 3x is again going to be 36x. The question doesn't tell us what x is. The question doesn't tell us how much money Mars have, but we can estimate that the amount of money Mars have is going to be 36x. Whatever x is, if we know x, we will be able to find the amount of money that Mars have. What is required in this question? How many of each fruit can he buy? Now, one more thing that is really important in this question and fundamental is that equal number of pears and apples, okay? Whatever he's going to buy equal number of them, okay? So he's going to buy 1 pear and 1 apple, 1 pear, 1 apple, 1 pear, 1 apple. The cost of one pear is 3x. The cost of 1 apple is x, and the cost of 1 pear and 1 apple, both of them combined, you can say a pair of an apple and a pear. You get me? X plus 3x is gonna give us 4x. 4x is the cost of 1 apple and 1 pear. Now, how many more of 1 apple, 1 pear can he buy? with the amount of money that he has, we're going to take this number. This is the cost of one pear and one apple, and we're going to divide it with the total money he has. 36x divided by 4x. This gives us 9. So that means he can buy 9 pears and 9 apple. Equal number, right? So 9 pears, 9 apples, we have equal number. Their prices are different, but this is the equal number of apples and pears that he can buy in 36x amount of money that he has, whatever that money is. That gives us the answer to question number 13. Question number 13 is part A though. Part B is left. Part B, there is a bit of a problem in part B. The question says that bought 15 Jamil bought 15 pencils at 2x paisa each and 24 pens at 4y paisa each. Find the total amount of money in dollars. Now this is wrong. It is supposed to be in Pakistani rupees. They forgot to translate that. Yeah, you're doing maths here. You're not doing here social studies or stuff like that. What's important in maths at your level is to understand the relationship between paisa and PKR, Pakistani rupees. What is the relationship between paisa and PKR? 100 paisas means 1 Pakistani rupees. You can say, right? 100 paisas mean 1 Pakistani rupees. This relationship is important. This conversion is important. You should be able to convert paisas into rupees and rupees into paisas, not the conversion between dollars and paisas, okay? So we're going to remove this dollar and we're going to convert it into PKR. We're going to write PKR instead. He paid, okay, the question is asking us what? The total amount of money he paid, basically, for the pencils and pen. How are we going to find the answer to this question? Question says that the total money spent on the pencils. Look, one more thing that you need to remember here, and one more thing that is really important, is for you to understand the total cost or the total value or the sum of something, okay? Total value, yeah, total cost, the total money spent on pencils means cost of one pencil multiply with the amount of pencils you had. Cost of one object multiply with the number of those objects you have, okay? This is something we're going to discuss in a little bit more. We're going to write it properly in the next few questions, but for now just bear with it. Total money spent on the pencils is 15 multiplied with 2x paisa. Okay, 15 is what? The number of pencils. 2x is what? The cost of one pencil. So 15 multiplied with 2x paisa is going to give us 36x paisa. This is the amount of money he spent to buy all the pencils that he bought. 30x paisas. Okay, now we're going to convert these paisas into PKR, Pakistani rupees. Why? Because the question asks us to convert it into PKR. Amount spent on pens. Now since he had 24 pens, which each one he bought for 4y paisa. So 24 multiplied with 4y paisa, which is going to give us 36y paisa. This is the total amount of money that he spent on buying the pens. Okay, total amount of money he spent to buy pencils and total amount of money he spent to buy pens. Now this information that we got is written in paisa, so we're going to convert it in Pakistani rupees. 96 divided by 100. Now we can just leave it at that, but it's better to simplify it further. We simplified it, and that is equal to 24 divided by 25y PKR. This is the amount of money that he spent on buying the pencils. The pens. All of the pens, okay? What is required? Required is the total amount of money spent. Now obviously the total amount of money spent is equal to the total amount of money spent on pencils plus the total amount of money spent on buying the pens, okay? So the solution is total amount is equal to the amount spent on buying the pencils and amount spent on buying the pens. So what do we have here? 3x divided by 10. 3x divided by 10 plus 24y divided by 25. 24y divided by 25. We're going to add them together and that will be the total amount. Now basically this is a fraction itself. X and y, they're not going to be added into one another, but we can simplify this fraction further. Okay, we have a 10 and we have 25. If I make this 25 into 30, I can multiply 3 here, making it, yeah, okay, I can multiply 5 here, making it 50, and I can multiply 2 here to make this 50, and 2 multiply with 24, 48, 2 multiply with 3 will, 5 multiply with 3 will make it 15. 15 divided by 50 and 48 divided by 50. Now 15x plus 48y, they cannot be added together because they're totally different variables. Okay, they're totally different variables, they cannot be added. That's why we're going to leave it at this. This is the most simple form this fractions can be in. So the total amount of money that he paid in Pakistani rupees is 15x plus 48y divided by 50. That's it. This question cannot be further simplified. We're going to leave it at that. Now this takes care of question number 11, 12 and 13. We're going to go towards the next questions that are left in this chapter. Question number 25 now, which is on page number 34 of your workbook. The equation is given to you in the question. You don't even have to look at the other pieces of information, just look at the equation, which is 1f is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by v. Equation is given to you. Then in part A, the value of f is being asked. Okay, so what is the question? F is the question mark here. U is given and v is given. All you need to do is to put in the values. Okay, put the values in the equation. What equation? The equation remains the same. For part A and for part B, both of them are going to use this equation given to you in the question. You have the equation, you're going to give the values are given to you, and you're going to put them in the equation and find the remaining. Okay, you have a total of 3 variables here, f, u and v. In both parts, 2 of the variables are given, while the third one is missing, and it's the question you need to find its value. This question is basically related to the questions we did in chapter number 6, exercise 6b. Okay, this isn't even a part of 6c that we're supposed to do in this quarter. Question number A, putting the values in first. Okay, the values are given in the question. We're going to put the values in and we're going to just simplify it. 1 by 5. Why did we put 5 here? Is the value of u, and v, instead of writing v, we'll put the value of v, which is 7. So 1 by 7. 1 by 5 plus 1 by 7. This is basically a fraction. You're going to simplify it further and you're going to get the value of 12 by 35. This cannot be further simplified. That's why 1 by f is equal to, now make sure you remember the fact that this is 1 by f. We haven't found the value of f, we have found the value of 1 by f. So we need to find the value of f. What are we going to do? We're going to cross multiply. Now you can go into the further steps and say cross multiply and proceed forward. You have 35, which is equal to 12, multiply with f, and then you divide 12 on both sides to make sure that f is left alone. Then the answer will be 35 divided by 12. Now this is the value of f. This is the value of f. We found the value of f. From this step, you can also just flip both sides upside down. 1 by f is equal to 12 by 35. You can also say f by 1 is equal to 35 divided by 12. What did I do? I just flipped them upside down. Okay, but it's better for you to just go step by step, makes less mistake. Okay, part B of question number 25. The value of f is given, the value of v is given, the value of u is missing in this question. The value of u is being asked. Put the values in the equation. Okay, 1 by 4. 4 is the value of f, so instead of f I will put the value of and which is 1 by 4, which is equal to 1 by u plus 1 by 5. U is missing, so I'm going to leave it as it is, and 1 by 5. Okay, instead of v, I'm going to put 5. Now we have a constant term here, we have a constant term here, and we have a variable term here. Making sure, we need to first make sure that the variables are on one side and the constant is on the other side. So we're going to make sure that the u is left alone, and we're going to take the 1 by 5 on the other side of the equation by subtracting 1 by 5 on both sides. Okay, so 1 by 4 minus 1 by 5. Now this is a simple fraction, you need to solve it further, and you get the value of 1 by u is equal to 1 by 20. Now after cross multiplication, you will get the value of u, which is equal to 20. Okay, the value of u is equal to 20. Now question number 26. This looks intimidating and it looks long. It's not that difficult, hopefully. Okay, find first. Okay, question number 6 has two parts, part A and B, and each of those two parts have further two parts. So we're gonna deal with part A first. Okay, in part A, it's telling us to find the formula. Okay, it's asking us to find the formula. So first we're going to find the formula, and in the second part of question number 6, part A, it is telling us to use that formula to find the three numbers. Okay, what does it mean? First read the question. Okay, question number 26, part A, first part, it says find the formula for sum of three numbers. Okay, let the first number be x. We're gonna know how from reading the full question. Okay, find sum of the three numbers is s. First piece of information, keep this in your mind, that the sum of three numbers is s. If the second number is m times, if the second number is m times the first, and the third number is n times less than the second, this is the pieces of information that we needed to know. Let's say that the first number is x because the second number is being described in terms of the first one. Okay, so let's say that the first number is x, so the second one is going to be m times of x. Okay, m times of x, and the third one is going to be n less, wait, what is that? Yeah, n less than the second one. What is the second number? Second number is mx, and third one is n less than the second number, which is mx. So mx minus n. Sum of these numbers is going to be s, which is equal to x, which is the first number, mx, which is the second number, and mx minus n, which is the third number. We added them together. All three numbers, we added them together. And now we're going to simplify the formula. Mx plus mx will make it 2mx, and n will come down as it is, minus n, and s is equal to x plus 2mx minus n. This is our formula. It cannot be further simplified, and this is it. This is the formula that the question is asking us to make. Okay, but next we're going to use this formula. The question says the sum of the three numbers is equal to 109. It means that the s value is given. S is equal to 109. S meant sum. S meant sum, and the sum is given, which is 109. So the value of s is given to us in the question. What else? The second number is 4 times the first number, and the third number is 8 less than the second number. Find the three numbers. Okay, it says that the second number, what was the second number? Second number was mx, and mx is 4 times of the first number. What was the first number? It says here 4 times of the first number. First number was x, so mx is equal to 4x. And it also says that the third number, which was mx minus n, this is the third number, mx minus n, is 8 less than the second number. 8 less than the second number. Look at them, compare them. Mx minus n, mx minus 8. That means n is basically 8. Okay, you can just look at it and tell that n is being replaced with 8. N is equal to 8. Putting the values in the formula that we had, the formula says in place of s I wrote its value, which was 109. In place of x, I don't know the value of x, so I'm going to leave it as is, plus 2mx. mx value is what? 4x. mx value is 4x. So instead of writing mx like here, I wrote 4x. 2 is being multiplied with mx, 2 is being multiplied with 4x. Okay, minus n, and what is the value of n? N's value is 8. So x plus 2 multiplied with 4x, which is going to give us 8x. X plus 8x minus 8. X plus 8x minus 8. This question can be further simplified. We're going to simplify it further. X plus 8x will give us 9x. Okay, so 9x what? 9x minus 8, right? 9x minus 8. We're going to add 8 on both sides to make sure that the constants are on one side of the equation and the variable is on the other. Simplifying it further, we get the value of x, okay, which is equal to 117 divided by 9. If you proceed with this division, you will get the value 13. X is equal to 13. That means the first number is 13. Now, what do we know about the second number? The second number was 4x. The second number was mx. And what does mx means? Mx means 4x. Since we know the value of x, which is 13, 4x means it's going to be 4 multiplied with 13, which is 52. And the third number is 4x minus 8, which is equal to 52. Basically, the third number is 8 less than the second number. And the second number was 52, and 8 less than that is 44. We found all three of the numbers that were being asked in the questions. This takes care of part A of question number 26. Now we're going to deal with part B of question number 26. It again asks us to find a formula. It again asks us to construct a formula. What are we going to do about that? Just look at the information given to us. Again, question number 26 has a bit of a problem in it. It says dollars. You're going to replace dollars with PKR, Pakistani rupees. Okay? Our book will deal with PKR, not dollars here. The cost, okay, find the formula for the cost of C in PKR of a pair of shoe. What does this statement tells us? It tells us that the cost of pair of shoe is C, Pakistani rupees. We don't know how much it is, but we know it's C. So let's say it's whatever going to be is going to be C. C PKR. If Nadia and Seema spent the same amount of money on the same pair of shoe, Nadia has twice as much money as Seema after buying the pair of shoe. Assume Nadia had PKRP and Seema had PKRQ initially. What does initially means? In the start, okay? In the start. So in the start, before buying the shoes, Nadia had how much money? Nadia had P amount of money and Seema had Q amount of money. So let's imagine this scenario. What's happening is that Nadia and Seema, both of them went to the shop. Nadia has about P money in her wallet or your purse, I guess, and Seema has Q amount of money in her purse. Okay? They go to the shop, they like the pair of shoes, both of them want to buy the same pair, they do it, and the amount of money that they have to spend to buy the pair of shoe is C. Okay, so the amount of money left with them is going to be P minus C and Q minus C. What does it mean? It means that the amount of money that Nadia had after buying this pair of shoe is P minus C. Why P minus C? Because P is the amount of money that Nadia had initially. Initially, Nadia had P amount of money. After buying the pair of shoes, she has left with P minus C. Means this much amount of money was cut from her purse. Out from her purse. Amount of money that Seema has left after buying the pair of shoes. What did I write here? Whatever. Buying the pair of shoes, okay? Same pair, yeah. I was supposed to write same. Buying the same pair of shoes is equal to Q minus C, because Q is the amount of money that Seema had initially when she came to the shop. After buying the pair of shoes, so we're going to subtract the amount of money of the shoes. Okay, so this is the price of the shoes subtracted from the amount of money she had. This is the amount of money she's left with. According to the question tells us an equation right here. It says that Nadia's and they both spent the same amount of money. It says that the amount of money that Nadia had left is twice as much as Seema. Okay, so the amount of money that Nadia has now, this P minus C, it's going to be twice as much as what Seema has. Okay, so P minus C is the amount of money that Nadia has left, which is going to be equal to 2 times, in other words twice. Okay, so twice as much as Seema had. Okay, what Seema had left. You have an equation now. You can simplify it further. First apply the distributive law. 2 multiply with Q will make it 2Q. 2 multiply with C, negative C, will make it negative 2C. And then we're going to rearrange it. Why are we going to rearrange it? What does rearranging means? It means making the same variables on one side, okay, or the similar terms on one side of the equation, and similar terms on the other side. C will come with C and P with Q, just so that we can deal with this C. So right now we have a negative C on this side of the equation. It will come on this side. It will become a positive 2C. Okay, it will become positive 2C. Now plus 2C minus C will leave us with a C, which is equal to 2Q minus P. This equation cannot be further simplified. This is the formula that the question number 6 part B is asking us for. Okay, now the second part of this question number 26, second part. Okay, when P is equal to 42 and Q is equal to 30, where did I got this information from? From the question. Nadia had 42 rupees. This is the amount of money she had initially. Okay, and what did the amount of money she had initially means? P. Now we know the value of P from this statement. And Seema had 30 rupees initially. This in the first part it says that Seema had Q rupees initially, and in the second part it tells us that Seema had 30 rupees initially. That means 30 is equal to Q, or the value of Q is given to us in the second part. Okay, if Nadia and Seema spent the same amount of money on the same pair of shoes, and basically this repeats itself. What's important right now is that you got the value of Q and you got the value of P, and you have the formula as well. C is equal to 2Q minus P. The value of P is given, the value of Q is given, and you have to find the value of C. What is the value of C? C is the cost of the pair of shoe. Cost of the pair of shoe is going to be C, which is equal to 2Q minus P. You're going to put the values of Q and you're going to put the values of P. Once you put the values, you have to multiply and solve it further. You get the value of the C. What is the value of C? It's 18 pkr, and that's exactly what is required in this question. So you got the value of C, which is the cost of the pair of shoe. I was able to find it by knowing the money that they had initially, and by using the formula that I found in the first part of this question. This deals with question number 26. Now we're going to deal with question number 27. Question number 27 says, Faiza is thinking of a number. We don't know that number, okay? If she multiplies that number by 2 and adds 14, the result is same as if she subtracted 8 from 4 times of that number. Okay, first of all, the first part of this question number 27 asks us to let the number be x, okay? Question itself is telling me to let the number be x. That's exactly what I did here. I let the number be x. Okay. Then the question tells me that write the equation in terms of x. The whole statement given to me in the start is basically telling me the equation itself. Okay. It says that if she multiplies 2 with that number, if she multiplies the number by 2. So what did I do? I multiplied 2 with x. So 2x. Then adds 14. I added 14. 2x plus 14. The result is same as if she subtract. The result is same. This is basically showing the equal sign, and then it says subtract 8 from 4 times the number. From 4 times the number, and you're going to subtract 8 from it. Okay, 8 is being subtracted. 8 subtract 8. Subtract 8 means it's telling you to minus 8 from something. Okay, so 4x minus 8. 2x plus 14 is equal to 4x minus 8. This equation is given to you. This is the end of part 1. This is the end of part 1. Okay, now we're going to go towards part 2 of question number 27. Part 2 says solve the equation. Part 2 says solve the equation. We got the equation, now we're going to solve it. Basically making sure that x is on one side of the equation and the constant is on the other. So right now I have this 2x, I want to take it on the other side, it'll become minus 2x. Okay, so 4x minus 2x is going to leave us with 2x, and we have a minus 8 here. When it comes on this side of the equation, we're going to add, okay, I added 8 on both sides of the equation. 14 plus 8 gives us 22. 22 is equal to 2x, which is equal to the value, which was, okay, divide 2 on both sides of the equation, we will get the value of x. You can just look at it and tell that 22 is equal to 2x, which means x is equal to 11. We found the value of x. This is the end of question number 11, question number 27 part 2. Okay, question number 27 part 2. The question number 27 part 3, okay, it tells us to find the result. What does this mean? Find the result. It means that we're going to put the value of x back in the equation and find what do we get from it. Okay, you just need to substitute the value of x in either part. You can even just take only the left hand side or the right hand side and put the value of x in it. You will find the result. I did both of them. I put the value of x in both sides. Okay, so 2 multiplied with 11 plus 14. 2 multiplied with 11 will give us 22 plus 14. It gives us 36. And from this side of the equation, I also got 36. The result is basically 36, and this is our answer. Question number 27 done. Question number 28. Now question number 28 is similar to the question we did in our book. Which question? It is similar to question number 14 of exercise 6C that we did. Okay, you can look at it and you can review it when you're doing this question. If you don't understand that question, then you will be able to understand it through this. And if you don't understand this one, then you can take help from the question number 14 that we did. Question number 28 says what? Again, starting with analyzing the question and taking out the given. Question says that the numerator of a fraction is 1 less than the denominator. The numerator is being described in terms of the denominator. So what are we going to do? We're going to take the denominators as x. Let's say that the denominator is x. Then the numerator is going to be 1 less than the denominator. 1 less than x. If the denominator is x, then the numerator is going to be 1 less than x. The original fraction becomes what? You just have to put the numerator is numerator's place and denominator is in denominator's place. Numerator is x minus 1, so you write x minus 1 divided by x. The original fraction is x minus 1 divided by x. And this is exactly what our required is as well. The question tells us the equation. After this first sentence, it tells us the equation. It says that Ali adds 1 to the nominator. What was the nominator? The nominator was x minus 1, correct? And you're going to add 1 to it. No, Ali is going to add 1 to it. Yeah, Ali is going to add 1 to it. Okay, so x minus 1 plus 1. And then he adds 2 to the denominator. Denominator was x and he's going to add 2 with them. And the answer that he got is 3 by 4. That fraction is 3 by 4. Which means that it's this addition that he did, and on both sides, on the top and the bottom, is going to make the fraction 3 by 4. Okay, this is the equation given to us in the question, and you can just further proceed with it. Plus 1, and the solution we're going to do plus 1 minus 1, which means x is left alone, and x plus 2, 3 by 4. What are we going to do? We're going to cross multiply. x multiplied with 4 and 3 multiplied with x plus 2. X multiplied with 4 is 4x, 3 multiplied with x is 3x, and 3 multiplied with 2 is 6. Now we have a constant here and we have a variable here. We need to make sure that the variable is on one side of the equation. That's why we subtract 3x on both sides and we get the value of x. Okay, value of x is 6. So x minus 1 is going to be 5. X is what? The denominators, and the numerator is x minus 1. So x minus 1 is 5. Okay, so we're going to put the values of the original fractions in place of it, and we got the original fractions 5 by 6. Oh, in case if you can't see, x, we found the value of x, then we do x minus 1, which is equal to 5, and the original fraction is going to be x minus 1. The value of x minus 1 is 5 and the value of x is 6. Put the values, you found the original fraction. This is it for question number 8. Done with question number 8. Okay, now question number 29. Question number 29. Question number 29. It says, it has basically 4 parts, but all of them are really small and simple. It says that a woman is 8 times as old as her son Maz. This is their present age, okay, that we're talking about. Whatever Maz's age is, the woman's age is going to be 8 times more than that. And then the question says 2 years ago she was 15 times as old as Maz. Okay, this information is given to me, but I'm not going to deal with them. I'm not going to write the givens, I'm not going to write the requireds, and then because this question is simple and it doesn't really require us to go into that details, you can just answer the questions as they're being asked. Question number 29 part 1 says, if Maz is x years old now, okay, so the present age of Maz is x years old, the woman's age is going to be, we know the question says it's going to be 8 times more than Maz, so that's why the woman's present age is going to be 8x years old. That answers our first part. The second part says write down an expression in terms of x for Maz's age 2 years ago. Okay, if Maz's current age is x, then 2 years ago his age was x minus 2. That simply tells us the answer. Then in the third part it says form an equation in x and solve it. Okay, now how are we going to make an equation? At this point, this statement, the second statement, is basically our equation. 2 years ago she was 15 times as old as Maz. 2 years ago she was 15 times as old as Maz. This is going to give us our equation. Woman's age in 2 years ago, we did the age of Maz 2 years ago, right? Which was x minus 2. And woman's age 2 years ago was her age, present age, minus 2 years from them, okay? Present age of woman minus 2 years from them will give us the woman's age 2 years ago. Okay, what do we know about the woman's age 2 years ago and its relation to Maz? It says that it's going to be 15 times of Maz's age, okay? Woman's age is going to be 15 times of Maz's age. So we take it as it is. Woman's age 2 years ago is 15 times of what Maz's age is 2 years ago. We got our equation from this statement, okay? Now we're going to further simplify it. Further apply the distributive law. We're going to find the value of x to this. Simply proceed with the linear equation. You will get the value of x, which is equal to 4, which means Maz's present age is 4 years old. Currently Maz is 4 years old. That information itself isn't really important, but this process itself was important, okay? We found the value, we form an equation in x and solved it, okay? Now part 4 of question number 29, it says find woman's age in 5 years time. Currently the woman's age is 8x, but now we know the value of x. X value is 4, so we're going to multiply 8 with 4. 8 multiplied with 4 is 32. So currently, present age of the woman is 32 years old. In 5 years of time, she's going to be 32 plus 5, which is 37. So in 5 years, she's going to be 37 years old. Now, okay, now dealing with question number 30. Question number 30 is similar to question number 13 that we did in exercise 6C. Okay, but it is a little bit more difficult. It has a bit more technical things in them. Before dealing with this question, you have to memorize these few things. Okay, speed is equal to distance divided by time. Time is equal to distance divided by speed, and distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. Distance is equal to speed multiplied by time. Okay, you need to memorize these things. They're not only helpful in this question, but they are really useful in a lot of other questions that we have done before and we're going to do. Basically, it's good for you to remember these few things. Okay, first of all, question number 30 part 1. Question number 30 part 1. Focus on the question. It's a long question, so first let's read it and then analyze it. Okay, Ashan cycled from home for X kilometers at 9 kilometers per hour. So he traveled X kilometers at this speed to the BRT station. Okay, he cycled this much distance. What distance? He's cycled X distance with the speed of 9 kilometers per hour. So the distance is given to us and the speed is given to us, even though we don't know what the distance is. Then he waited for 3 minutes before catching the next BRT train, and the BRT train traveled at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour. The speed is given to us and the distance is not given to us here, and the time is also not given to us here. He walked for 1 by 2 kilometers at an average speed of 6 kilometers per hour before reaching his school. The distance from his school to the above route is 12 kilometers. In other words, the total distance from his home to the school is 12 kilometers. The total distance is 12 kilometers, and the total time that he has spent in all this journey that we just talked about is 28 minutes. So we know the total time and we know the total distance. Okay, question number 1 asks us to express in terms of X the time he spent cycling from home to the BRT station. Okay, the important thing for question number 30 part 1, the most important thing that you need to remember to solve this part is the first sentence. Okay, first sentence says that the distance is X. It says that the speed is 9 kilometers. And what did I say about time? How do you find time? Time is equal to distance divided by speed. What is the distance? Distance is X. What is the speed? Speed is 9. So X divided by 9 hours. That is basically it. Part 1 done. Okay, that's it. The answer is this. You were able to tell this answer only by understanding and knowing this formula. Okay, time is equal to distance divided by speed. How did I got this formula? From this formula of speed. Speed is equal to distance divided by time. This is an equation. You can mess with it as much as you want. Okay, you can say I multiply time on both sides of the equation, so time multiplied by speed, and time will cancel each other out. So distance is equal to speed. Distance is equal to speed multiplied with time. Now what if I divide speed on both sides of the equation? If I divide speed here, speed cancels each other out, and distance divided by speed is equal to time. They are all correlated, and from one of these equations you can make the other two, any of the other two. Okay, these three are correlated to one another. Going to the second part of question number 30. Question 30 says find the distance he traveled on the BRT train. What do we know about the BRT train? We know that he waited for 3 minutes to catch the BRT train, and we know that BRT train traveled at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour. What do we know about the BRT train? We know that speed. We know the speed. It's asking us distance. It's asking us distance. Distance is equal to speed multiplied with time. Distance is equal to speed multiplied with time. Okay, we know the speed, but we don't know the time it took him in the BRT train. So for us to find the distance that he traveled in the BRT, we need to first find the time that he spent in the BRT. Okay, the total time is given to us. The total time is 28 minutes. We're going to convert those 28 minutes into hours. Okay, so 28 divided by 60 will give us the amount of hours that he spent in the BRT train, which is 7 by 15 hours. He spent 7 by 15th hour of a in the BRT train. Okay, the time in the BRT train is equal to the time in the BRT train. Why do we need to know the time in the BRT train? Again, we need to know the time of the BRT train because we know the speed of the BRT and we can find the distance. That is the question, right? We need to find the distance that he traveled in the BRT train, which is equal to the time in the BRT train multiplied with the speed of the BRT train. Okay, how are we going to know the time of the BRT train? It is basically the total time minus the time that he spent cycling, minus the time he waited for the BRT, minus the time he walked for the school. In other words, you're going to subtract all the other times given to us in this question from the total. Okay, this is the total. You're going to subtract all the other time that he spent in this journey from the total, and you will get the time in the BRT train. Okay. The time he spent cycling, we just found that in the first part. Okay, we know the total is equal to 7 by 15 hours. We know that the time he spent cycling is x by 9 hours. We know that the time he waited for the BRT train is 3 minutes. We're going to convert the 3 minutes into hours. Okay, we're going to convert the 3 minutes into hours because you know that meters can only interact with meters and centimeters will only interact with centimeters, and minutes will interact with minutes and hours will interact with hours. That's why we need to make sure that we're talking about the same unit here. When we were finding the time for the cycling, we calculated it in hours. When the speed is given to it, it is also in kilometers per hour. So we need to make sure that all the times that we're going to talk about is in hours. Okay, the unit we're going to use for time here is hours, always hours. So we're going to convert 3 minutes into hours, just like we did for the total time. Total time was 28 minutes, but we converted it into hours. Okay, the time for walk to school, the time that it took him, in the last sentence, almost the last sentence, he said that he walked 1 by 2 kilometers. That means 0.5 kilometers. He walked 0.5 kilometers at an average speed of 6 kilometers per hour before reaching his school. This is the distance that he walked, and this is the speed that he had. And what did I say about time? Time is equal to distance divided by speed. Okay, so the time that he waited for the BRT, first we're going to convert the 3 minutes into hours, and what do I get? 1 by 20th of an hour. 1 by 20th of an hour. First we're going to convert the time he waited for the BRT, 3 minutes, into hours. When I convert 3 minutes into hours, I get 1 by 20th hour. Okay, time that he walked to the school, the time it took him for the walk to school is what? It is, what do we know about the formula of time? It says distance divided by speed. His distance was 1 by 2. His distance was 1 by 2 kilometers, and we're going to divide 1 by 2 by 6 basically. What is 6? 6 is the speed. So 1 by 2, which is the distance, divided by 6, which is the speed. Now why did I write a denominator 1? Every whole number has a denominator 1. I felt a need to write this denominator 1 because I was converting the division sign into multiplication sign. 1 by 2 divided by 6 is equal to 1 by 2 multiplied by 1 by 6. Okay, now 1 multiplied with 1 is 1, 2 multiplied with 6 is 12. So 1 by 12 hours. This is the amount of time that he spent walking to the school after the BRT. Okay, so the time that he spent in the BRT train is basically the total, which is 7 by 15 minus the time that he spent cycling, the time that he waited for the BRT, and the time he walked to the school. Okay, doing this process I will further simplify it, again simplify it further as much as I can. I get this 1 by 3 minus x by 9. 1 by 3 minus x by 9. This is the amount of time that he spent in the train. Now we know that the distance traveled in by Arsahan in the BRT is going to be Ahsan. Okay, it's Ahsan, not Arsahan. Ahsan traveled a distance of how much in the BRT? We can calculate it now using the formula. Distance is equal to speed multiplied with time, correct? Now we know the time and we already knew the speed here. It said 60 kilometers. So 60 multiplied with the time that we just found. 60 multiplied with the time that we just found. I just did that. 60 multiplied with 1 by 3 and 60 multiplied with negative x by 9. Okay, 60 multiplied by 1 by 3 is basically 60 divided by 3 minus x by 9. So x multiplied with 60 is 60x divided by 9. Now both of them can be further simplified and we did that. Okay, 60 divided by 3 is 20 minus, this can be further simplified into 20 by 3 or 20 by 3x. This is the amount of distance that he traveled. Now since we don't know the value of x, we cannot further simplify this question. This answer cannot be further simplified. That's why we're going to leave it at that, and this is going to be our answer. Okay, now part 3, it says form an equation in x and solve it. Now we are going to find the value of x. How are we going to find the value of x? We know that the total distance that he covered in this whole journey is, what does it says? Is 12 kilometers. He says the distance from his home to the school is 12 kilometers. This is the total distance that he covered. And we also know that the total distance is equal to the distance that he cycled for, the distance that he traveled in the BRT, the distance that he walked. All of them combined together is going to give us the total distance. Okay, do we know the distance that he cycled? Yeah, it's given in the question, it's x. Do we know the distance that he traveled in the BRT? Yes, we know that. We just found it in the second part. I just put a value here. Okay, the distance that he walked for is also given in the question, 1 by 2 kilometers. All I need to do is to put in the values. X plus the distance in the BRT plus the distance walked, which was 1 by 2 kilometers. Okay, now you just further simplify this question. X plus 20 plus 1 by 2. Okay, why did I rearranged it basically. I rearranged it. There is nothing more to do here. 20 plus 1 by 2. I first dealt with the constants. I left the variables. I left to deal with them later. Okay, now 20 plus 1 by 2 will become 40 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Okay, I made the denominator the same so that I can add them. Okay, 40 plus 1 will make 41 and 2 will be the common. Okay, so this is the constant term that we got, and I also dealt with the variables at the same time. It was x minus 20 by 3x. So to make the denominator the same, I had to multiply top and the bottom. So 3 divided by 3x, basically it means 1x, minus 20 divided by 3. Now that the denominator is the same, further proceed with the question. I will get the value of x. Okay, proceeding with the question, I will get the value of x, and that's exactly what the question is asking me to do, finding the value of x. Okay, this in case if you can't see it properly now. Okay, here what did I do? Made sure that the constants are on the same side of the equation. Okay, make sure that the constant is on the same side and the variable is on one side of the equation. Further dealing with the question, at this point I had minus minus, which means I can remove the signs and take them as positive. 17 divided by 2, 17 divided by 3x. Now I can cross multiply, and once I get this cross multiplication, there are two things I can do. I can proceed with the multiplication just like I did here in this question, or I can divide both sides with 17. If I divide both sides with 17, 17 cancelled here, 17 cancelled there, I will be left with 3 is equal to 2x, and then I can divide 2 on both sides and I will get the answer. That is easier. But if you don't want to do it through that method, you can just simply proceed like this, the way I did here in this. Okay, now we're going to deal with question number 31. Okay, question number 31 is also dealing with something very important. Here we're going to talk about the thing that we were discussing in the previous question. Question number 13. In question number 13 we did use something similar, and we're going to use the same thing in question number 31. Okay, question number 31. It says, first read the question. It says a man bought X number of apples and twice as many oranges. So we're going to say let the number of apples be X, and then the number of oranges is going to be 2x, because that's twice of what the number of apples are. Okay, so the number of oranges is going to be twice of the number of apples. It's going to be 2x. He also bought 5 pears fewer than orange. Fewer means less. 5 pears less than the apples. Apples is x, so that means the number of pears that he bought is x minus 5. That's the basic information given to us in the first 2 sentences. Okay, each apple cost 40 paisas. I wrote the cost of each apples, which is 40 paisas. Then I converted the 40 paisas into into rupees. 40 paisas into rupees is 40 divided by 100. I will get the value in rupees, which is 0.4. Then again, the cost of orange is given to me, which is 30 paisas. 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. That gives me the paisa into rupees. Then again, the cost of pear is given, which is 80 paisas, and 80 divided by 100 is 0.8 rupees. Now I got the why did I even converted all of them into rupees? What was the need of that? It's because in the last statement it says that the man spent a total of 77 rupees. Okay, the total is given to us in rupees. That's why I felt a need to convert all the costs into rupees, so that I can interact, so that they can interact, and I can find the equation then. Okay, the total is given to me. I wrote the total, which is 77. This is basically the entire pieces of information given to me in this question. All the pieces of information given to me in these questions, these were it. That's it. Now before solving this question, focus on this, what I wrote here. I wrote total cost or the value of an object. If we're going to talk about the total cost of an object, or we're going to talk about the total value of an object, what are we going to do? We're going to take the number of that object and multiply it with the price of that single piece of that object. Okay, so for example, I'm talking about the total value of apples, the total cost of apples, the total cost of all the apples. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be the number of apples. Number of apples is x, multiply with the cost of each apple. So number of apples is x, multiply with the cost of apple is 0.4. That's the total spent on an apple. The total amount of money that I spent on apples, or the total value of an apple, total cost of apples is x multiplied with 0.4. X is the number of apples and 0.4 is the price of each apple. Okay, you need to remember this formula. Okay, this is really useful at your grade level. The total money, first of all, question number 31, part first, it asks us to find the value of x. Find the value of x. What is the value of x? How are we going to find it? We're going to find it by using the last statement of this given. It says that the total money spent is 77 rupees. The equal sign, this shows us equality, and this shows us the equation that we need. Total money spent is equal to the total money spent on buying the apples, total money spent on buying the oranges, and total money spent on buying the pears. Okay, we're going to find each of that totals first, and then we're gonna simplify it to further find the value of x. First, the total money spent on the apples is number of apples multiplied by cost of apples. I got this 0.4x. Then total money spent on oranges is the number of oranges multiplied with the cost of each orange. I got 0.6x. Then so the total spent on pears is equal to the number of pears, which is x minus 5, and 0.8, which is the cost of a pear. Okay, 0.8. This, when I multiply them, I got this 0.8x minus 4 basically. Now that I have a very proper equation, I can simply just proceed with it. Plus sign doesn't changes any sign, so it just opens the bracket, doesn't do anything. 0.4x plus 0.6 will make it 1x plus 0.8x minus 4. 0.8x minus 4 comes down as it is. Okay, the plus 4 is the negative 4 to cancel this out and make sure that the variables are left on, variables are the only terms left on this side. We're going to take the minus 4 and to this side it will become plus 4. So 77 plus 4 will give us 81, which is equal to 1x plus 0.8 will give us 1.8x. Now when I divide 1.8, you can see how I did the division, and I'll get the value of x, which is equal to 45. What is 45? 45 was the number of apples bought. Okay, 45 was the number of apples that we bought, which is equal to 45. Okay, this is x, and the question tells us to find the value of x. That's it. So this is the answer of the first part. We don't need to find the number of pears or this or that. It's irrelevant. Don't waste your time on that. Then the question asks us to find the amount of money he spent on buying the pears. Okay, amount of money, total money spent on the pears. What did we say about this? We already found it, but when the answer that we got was in terms of x. This is the total amount of money that he spent on the pears. What did I say about the total money spent on the pears? It's the number of pears multiplied the cost of each pear. Okay, number of pears multiplied by the cost of each pear. What is the number of pears? It's x minus 5 multiplied with the cost of each pear is 0.4. We know the value of x. Okay, we know the value of x. I could have substituted the value of x here, but I simply proceeded with the multiplication. Okay, I multiplied 0.8 with x, I multiplied 0.8 with 5, and I got this term. 0.8x is minus 4. 0.8x minus 4. Now I put the value of x. Instead of x, I will write 45. I will proceed with the normal multiplication and then subtraction, and I will get the value. This is the amount of money, the total amount of money that he spent on the pears. That's it. This is the answer to the second part of question number 31. Just a bit more left. Question number 32 says, a restaurant owner bought some ducks with a cost of PKR 7.5 each. Again, I will write the cost. The cost of each duck is 7.5 rupees. Okay, that's the first statement, the first piece of information given to me. Some chickens, we don't know the number of chickens, we don't know the number of ducks, but we know that cost. Okay, first we're going to write the cost. Cost of the chicken is given to us, which is 3.8 rupees. Then some geese, which is the plural of goose, okay, at the cost of 12.8 each. Okay, the cost of each goose is given, the cost of each duck is given, the cost of each chicken is given. Done. Then what else? The number of chickens bought is 3 times the number of ducks. First we talked about the cost, now we're going to talk about the numbers. Okay, the number of ducks is, let's just say that the number of ducks that we bought, that the owner bought, was x. Why did we take the number of ducks as x? Because the number of chickens is being described in terms of duck. Okay, the number of chickens bought is 3 times the number of ducks. So let's say if the duck is x, the number of ducks is x, then the number of chickens will be 3x. Then again, the number of geese is half the number of ducks. Again, Geese is also being described in terms of ducks. That's why it had to be x. It was the basic term here. And the number of geese bought is 0.5. 0.5 basically means half, right? Half of x. And one more piece of information is given to us. The restaurant owner paid a total of 607.2 rupees for all of this. The question basically asks us to find the number of geese bought, which is equal to 0.5x. We need to find the value of x to be able to find 0.5, okay? 0.5x. How are we going to do that? By using the last statement, basically. The total money spent is 607.2 rupees. We know that the total money spent is equal to the total cost of all the ducks plus total cost of all the chickens plus total cost of all the geese, but we don't know yet the total cost of all the ducks plus total cost of all the chickens plus total cost of all the geese. So we're going to first find them individually as well. The total cost of all the ducks is going to be the number of ducks multiply with the cost of each duck, just like we did in the previous question. What did we say in the previous question? The total cost is equal to number of that object multiply with the cost of each. Okay? That's exactly what we did here then. Total cost of the ducks is going to be equal to number of the ducks multiply with the cost of one duck, then number of the chickens multiply with the cost of one chicken, then number of the geese multiply with the cost of one goose. Okay? Cost of one goose. We're going to proceed with the multiplications first because absolutely we have a law which we call Demas law, Boardman's law, according to which division first and then addition. Okay? 7.5 multiplied with x will give us 7.5x, and this will give us 11.4x, this will give us 6.4x. Further proceeding with the addition, we get 25.3x. Now divide 25.3 on both sides of the equation. I get a decimal being divided with a decimal. Now for some of you this may be hard, so what are you going to do? You're going to multiply 10 on the top and multiply 10 on the bottom. This will make it into a whole number division, okay? And you can just further proceed with a division, or you can simplify it by dividing it by 11 on the top and the bottom. You will simplify it and then you can divide it. The answer will be 24. The answer will be 24, okay? That means this is the value of x, but we don't need the value of x, we need the value of 0.5x. The number of geese bought is 0.5x, so we're going to multiply 0.5 with 24, which is 12. Means half of 24 is 12. That's the number of geese that the restaurant owner bought. That solves the question for us. That's it, the answer to this question. Okay, then we go towards question number 24. We're gonna skip question number 33 because it's going to be long and it can be unnecessarily hard for you, and we don't have that much time. Directly to question number 4. Question number 4 is pretty easy. First read the question. Question says Rizwan is 4 years old and his brother is half his age. That's it. Find the sum of ages of the two boys in the simplest form. First of all, their present age. Rizwan's age is 4x. The question tells us that. The brother's age is half of 4x because brother's age is half of Rizwan's age. Brother's age is going to be half of 4x, which is 2x. Okay. Now we're going to answer question number 24 part 1, which is their sum at present time. 4x, which is the present age of Rizwan, 2x, which is the present age of the brother, which is equal to 6x, which is the sum of their present ages. Okay. Then we have part 2, in which it says their sum in 8 years time. What does that mean? That means after 8 years, Rizwan's age is going to be 4x plus 8. After 8 years, Rizwan's brother's age is going to be 2x plus 8. Sum of their ages in 8 years is going to be 4x plus 8 plus 2x plus 8. Now 4x plus 2x will make it 6x. and 8 plus 8 is going to make it 16. This is the answer. That's it. This is the sum of their ages in 8 years. Then question number 5, 35. Question number 35. Again, before solving question number 35, you should focus on these pieces of information. These are very important. If you remember, we did a question which was about the employers, female employee average salary and male employee average salary. In that question, we also really had to know these three formulas. Okay, they are really important. Average is equal to sum divided by count. What does that mean? That means all the data that is given to you, you're gonna add them together and the total is the sum. Okay, and then the number of the data. For example, I have 8 numbers, then 8 is the total count. I have 4 numbers given to me, then 4 is the count. I have 10 numbers given to me, then 10 is the count. Okay, so that is, and if I add all those 10 numbers together, that will be the sum. Okay, and if I divide the sum by the count, I will get average. Again, if I want to know the sum or the total, I'm going to multiply average with the count. If I want to know the count, then I'm going to divide average by sum. In this question, we're going to use this basically. The question says that the average of 4 numbers is 56. The average is given. Okay, the average is given to us. The average is given to us. It says it's 56. The first number is 5 more than the second. The third number is half of the second, and the fourth number is 3 times the sum of the first and the second. Okay, we're gonna go one by one. First of all, the average is given to me. What does that mean? I can make the equation if the average is given to me. How? Because I can find the sum. In previous questions, in a lot of previous questions, we did total money spent. In the previous 31 question, total money spent, what was that equal to? That was equal to the total spent on apples. Total. What am I getting at? The thing is, whenever we have a total, we can simply find an equation from that. The purpose of equation, the purpose of average here. The purpose of average here is for us to find the total of 4 numbers. The average of 4 numbers is for us to find the total of 4 numbers, and once we know the total of 4 numbers, we will be able to find the 4 numbers. Okay, first of all, the average of the 4 numbers is 56, just like the question said. The average of the 4 numbers is 56. So the total is going to be 4 multiplied with 56. Now, why are we multiplying 4 with 56? According to this formula, sum is equal to average multiplied with count. Total is the sum, average is 56, and the count is 4. We're talking about 4 numbers, so the count is going to be 4. We proceed with the multiplication, and this is the total. In other words, regardless of whatever the 4 numbers are, their sum is always going to be 224. That's it. No matter what those numbers are, we don't know them, but we definitely know the fact that their sum is going to be 224. First, this is piece of information, keep it in your mind. Okay, then let the second number be x. Why did we take the second number as x? Because in the question, the first number is being described in terms of the second one, and the third number is also being described in the second one. Okay, so the second one is the most basic one here. That's why we take the second number as x. Then the question says that the first one is 5 more than the second one, so it means 5 plus x. First one is 5 plus x, the second one is x, and the third one is half of the second. Second one was x, half of the second is 0.5x, and then the fourth number will be, this long statement is all about the fourth number. It says that the fourth number is 3 times the sum of the first and the second. So first you're going to have the sum of the first and second. First number is x, second number is x plus 5. So the sum of first and second is x plus 5 plus x. This is the sum of the first and second number, and 3 times of that will be the fourth number. Okay, so we're going to simplify this and we get 6x plus 15. This is the fourth number. We know the second, first, third, and fourth in terms of x. Okay, what is required? Their values are required now. We need to find their values. How are we going to find their values? By using the formula. Total of 4 numbers is equal to first number being added with the second number being added with the third number being added with the fourth number. Do we know the first number in terms of x? Yeah, we know the first number. First number is x plus 5. Do we know the second number? Yes, it's x. Then we're going to write x. In place of third, we're going to write its value, which is 0.5x. Okay, and in place of fourth number, we're going to write its value, which is 6x plus 15. Okay, now we know from the start that the total is going to be 224. So we write 224, which is equal to this long addition. Okay, just do the addition. X plus 6x is going to make us 8x plus 0.5x. Okay, and 5 plus 15 is 20. Now we have a plus x here, plus 20 here. We're going to subtract 20 so that we can make the constant interact with one another, and further proceed with this. Further proceed with this equation. You will get the value of x, which is equal to 24. What is x? X is the second number. So we found the value of the second number. Second number is x, which is equal to 24. The first number is x plus 5. As long as we know the x plus 5 with it and we find the first number, then the third number is half of x. Half of x is 12. Half of x was 24, the half of x is 12. And the fourth number is 6x plus 15. Put the values and you will be able to find the fourth value. Okay, fourth number. We found all the numbers that we needed to find. Now dealing with the last two questions, question number 36 and 37. Okay, first of all, in the question number 36, it says the sum of two numbers is 84. That's exactly what we said in the given. Sum of two numbers is 84. Let the two numbers, we don't know them, since we don't know them, it's going to be a and b. Okay, so basically what it means is that a plus b is 84. That's what the question says. If the difference between half of the first number and the third one and 1/3 of the second number is 2, is basically tells us that this is talking about an equation here again. So the second sentence tells us the equation. The first sentence also tells us an equation, but basically the purpose of first sentence is to tell us the value of one of them. Okay, the second sentence tells us the statement. Okay, how did I write 2a divided by 2 minus 1/3 of b? Okay, that's exactly what the question tells us. It says the difference between half of the first number. First number is a. First number is a. So half of the first number is going to be a by 2. And it says difference. What does difference means? Difference means subtraction is going to happen. So minus 1/3 of the second number, 1/3 of b is equal to 2. I got my equation. Now what is required? Required is a and required is b. How am I going to find a and b? First, from the first statement, a plus b is equal to 8 by 84, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to subtract a on both sides of the equation to find the value of b in terms of a, right? Here the value of b is in terms of a. We don't know the value of b, we don't know the value of a, but we know the value of b in terms of a. Okay, what are we going to use this for? We're going to substitute this value in this equation. Okay, and what that will do is that will get rid of b, just like this, right? Putting the value of b in this equation, what's going to happen? We're going to get rid of b. Now the only variable left in this equation is a, and we know that is equal to 2, right? This equation is equal to 2. So we're going to further simplify this and we're going to find the value of a. See what happened here? We substituted the value of b with something that was in terms of a. Now the only variable left in this question is a, and A can easily deal with A, but A can't deal with B because they are totally different from one another. That's why we substituted the value in such a way that the variable can be found. Okay, once we find the value of A, how are we going to do that? First we have 1 by 3. Okay, now focus on this one thing. There are a lot of students make a mistake on this one part here. This is negative 1 by 3. Okay, this whole fraction is negative. So negative 1 by 3 multiply with positive 84 will give negative 84 divided by 3. And negative 1 by 3 multiply with negative A will give us positive A by 3. Okay, this becomes positive because of this negative sign. Positive A by 3. From this point onwards is basically simple addition and subtraction of fractions. We had two variable terms. We needed to make their denominators same so that they can deal with one another, and we simply proceeded with the division here. It gave us a whole number and we took that to the other side of the equation. Further dealing with it, we got the value of A. Once we know the value of A, we can put the value of A back in the first equation we had. A, okay, you can see the value of B. B is equal to 84 minus A. We know the value of A now, which is 36. So what are we going to do? We're going to put the value of A and we're going to find the value of B. B is equal to 84 minus A. So B is equal to 84 minus 36, which will give us the value of B. Now we know both of the two numbers. It's a simple question. And one more thing, this is one of the most important questions, and this is your first step that you took in the simultaneous equations. This equation was a simultaneous equation. What does simultaneous equation means the question tells you two equations at the same times. Okay, the question told us two equations, A plus B is equal to 84 and A divided by 2 minus 1 by 3, B is equal to 2. I got two different equations in the same questions. Okay, both of them are true, both of them are correct. This means it's a simultaneous equation question. This was your first step in the simultaneous equations that you're going to do in great details in the next class. Okay, question number 37. Question number 37. It says Ali completes a task in 3 hours when he works alone. So I just wrote the same thing in the given. Ali can complete a task in 3 hours. In other words, Ali in 1 hour, he can complete 1/3 of the task. If it takes him 3 hours to complete the entire task, then he is going to complete 1/3 of the task in 1 hour. Now, the reason why I felt a need to describe his work and his efforts in 1 hour was so that I can compare it with Farhan's and so that I can find their efforts in 1 hour as well. The reason why all of this needs to be in the same hour is because only then I can apply the rate and ratio rules in it. Okay, I'm going to solve this question through ratios because it's going to be much more easier through that method. Okay, first of all, just focus on this. Ali completes a task in 3 hours. That means in 1 hour he's going to complete 1/3 of the task. If Farhan can complete the same task in 2 hours, then that means in 1 hour he's going to complete half of the task. It takes him 2 hours to do the complete tasks, so in 1 hour he's going to do half of the task. In other words, when both of them join together to do the task, in 1 hour, what are they going to do? In 1 hour, they're going to complete. This is Ali. Ali did this much in 1 hour. Farhan did this much in 1 hour. They're both working together. Now they're going to complete 5/6 of the task in 1 hour. I mean, 5/6, this is almost complete. This is almost complete. They have almost done the task in 1 hour. But they need a little bit more time. And the question asks us what? How long does it take for them to work together? How long does it take for them to work together to complete the task? It takes a bit more than 1 hour. We're going to find exactly how much. How are we going to do that? We're going to use rates and ratio for this. Okay, if for 1 hour, if in 1 hour they're going to do 5/6 of the tasks, if in 1 hour they're going to do 5 by 6 of the task, then in how much time will they do the entire task? Okay, that's what this means. I basically wrote it in form of a rate and ratio. Okay, now I can cross multiply them. 1 multiply with 1 will give us basically 1, and 5 multiply with 5 by 6 multiply with x will give us x multiplied by 5 by 6. Okay, further proceed with the multiplication. We get 5x divided by 6 is equal to 1, and go onwards. You will find the value of x. Now what was x? X was the time that it took for them to complete the entire task. One task means the whole task. It's a whole number. This is a fraction. This is incomplete. This is a complete task. This represents the complete task. Okay, and the time taken for that task. This is the fraction of that task and the time taken for that fraction. Okay, now we found the value of x. X is what? X is the amount of time that it took for them to complete the task. Okay, so it will take them 6 by 5 hours. Since this was in terms of hours, the answer is also going, x value is also going to be in terms of hours. So it's going to be 6 by 5 hours. 6 by 5 hours, when you convert that into minutes, you will get 1 hour and 12 minutes. Okay, it took them 1 hour and 12 minutes to complete the task, so a little more than an hour. It took them a little more than an hour to complete the task. That's it. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me in the, unfortunately we can't have our discussion class on the Saturday because we have parent teacher meeting. That's why we will have you can ask me all the questions on Monday. You can give me your feedback on Monday as well, and we will discuss further things on Monday, inshallah.